So what do you do, like burgers and fries and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll go
Hot
get a Troy burger.
dogs, sandwiches.
Troy, have you come up with your own creations
for you
yet?
to get a Troy burger.
No.
Oh,
So
that's
he's just
boring.
throwing his own toppings in.
Every single time someone walks up, I hope they either get a cheeseburger or a hot dog because they're so easy to like get into like the tablet thing.
Much. I literally predicted him the last week to not win a race this whole season, and then he goes out and wins a race by beating Truex. That's so annoying.
That sounds like a you problem and only a you problem. Like literally no one else.
So
Let's
I
dive
guess we
into
get to
this.
start
Let's
it.
dive
So
into it.
are we gonna do the normal like news and then review, or are
Yeah.
we just gonna hop
Yeah,
into
we can
the
just do the normal news and then review.
God,
we get to talk about Bristol preview.
The hell the news.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, we get to talk about the Bristol preview. I'm excited for that. I'm also not though at the same time.
Yeah, okay, let me just go like a
Wow,
week
I am.
back
Why
in
wouldn't you?
time.
Well, I'm like, all right, now I'll just save it for when we're actually talking about
Okay.
it.
No,
we
they
start
don't
off
do
we
it.
start off the news with pretty surprising news that came out last week. Stuart Friesen is gonna be making his Cup Series debut with Spire Motorsports in the Bristol Dirt Race this coming weekend. Of course, with the normal sponsor of Hamar, which was the team he races for, and Trucks. And he's a very skilled dirt racer. He's made his name in NASCAR and all dirt racing around the countries. Being a very talented dirt racer, so I think this is a really smart decision for Spire to make his Cup debut in a dirt race.
Yeah, I mean,
you can go on before I go into another news source.
yeah, it's a smart move. I think I don't expect him to run top 10, but I do think he could maybe sneak in a top 25, top 20 for sure.
I think he could put it in the top 15. I mean, I don't expect a lot of these guys to I don't expect a lot of them to perform next week at all.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you got to realize some of these guys are just making their first dirt races this week only. So they've only got like very little time to practice.
Yeah, there's only about 8 guys that actually have experience on dirt and cup. Sorry, Nick, go ahead.
No, it's fine. I think he can get top 20. I mean, he's in Inspire equipment, so it's not like top tier, but A, it's not like bad equipment, I would say, and B, it's also on dirt, which is such a wild card. You don't really know who's going to be up front, who's going to be back. So I think it's a smart move. I think I actually do pretty well, but you never know. We'll find out.
Yeah.
So continuing on the dirt race, of course, many Cup drivers with a very limited experience on dirt will be going down to the Truck Series for the Bristol Dirt Race, and the names include Kevin Harvick has already been reported on. It was announced last week, but also we got a lot of new names entering it. Mike Snyder, he's an Xfinity driver, but he still counts. Bubba Wallace, Ryan Newman is going to be in it. And Daniel Suarez is another one that's going to be in it. And also we have the experienced veteran of Kyle Larson that's also going to be pretty much stealing a win. We all know he's just going to steal the win in trucks. And I think that's about it for the guys going down the Truck Series. Oh, and also Truex. He's been making his first truck start since 2006. This weekend in the truck race. So we're gonna see a lot of truck guys. And I don't know the last time this many Cup guys have been in a truck race, but I don't remember a time like for a particular race, honestly.
How many entries are there for the truck race? Because I feel like there's so many.
I think I saw 42.
42, 43.
Aren't they only allowed like 37?
I think they said
no, they can race 40, but they're doing heat races too.
Yeah, so
yeah,
32 is going to make it since there's practice qualifying, so it's not going to be a 40 truck field. It's going to be a 32 truck field.
32? Is it
32?
It's 32.
No, Packers said that it's going to be the 40 truck field is 35 through the heat races based on point system on finishing and passing points, and then 5 provisionals on 2021 owner points.
NASCAR always got to make it confusing.
Yeah.
Well, it's basically saying like the top 35 guys in the heat races, and then say like I don't know, Ben Rhodes wrecks in the heat races, he'll be in the race, basically something like that. Him or John Hunter Nemechek. They'll be in the actual race on
that
Saturday.
makes sense.
But if
Yeah.
like my Snyder actually not in it,
No.
okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Actually, that's like the clash and the duels and everything like that.
Yeah.
So before we make it to the actual dirt Bristol dirt, we're gonna be going to the Pro Invitational Series in iRacing
That's
day.
right.
That season's gonna be
Wednesday.
starting. It's gonna be starting this week, and the full entry list hasn't been released, but pretty much it's the top 35, top 36 charter teams, and then 4 extra like guys that Fox and I guess a couple like fans or whatever get to pick out. So Dale Jr. is of course
One of the
he's
4.
announced that he'll be one
Yeah.
of the 4.
I mean, are we
Drive-
surprised? Are we surprised by that? The man basically
Yeah,
is like a spokesperson
Bro,
for
if
iRacing.
you drop
He
him
almost
in
won an
there, it's a
iRacing
lot
race
more
last
viewers
year.
right there.
Yeah, he did almost win Homestead. Him and
Miami,
Denny.
yeah, it was like
Yeah.
a photo
Remember that. I
finish,
don't
was it
care.
not?
Maybe it's just
Yeah, it
me. I
was.
don't care about the iRacing at all.
I'm not gonna.
I think I'm only
I'm
excited
not
for
gonna
this
watch
week.
it.
That might be
I'll-
the only one I'm
I'll
excited
watch
for.
it. I'll watch it because Junior's in it, but like it's not
Of
something I'll
course
mean
you
a lot
will.
to me. It won't be like anything.
I'm
top of
pretty
my
sure
mind.
before Junior announced it, you said I'm not gonna watch any of them.
Yeah.
No.
No,
I'll
you
still
did.
watch it 'cause
I-
NASCAR. It's NASCAR. I'd watch it, bro.
I mean, is it?
Is
like
it really
it's
NASCAR?
borderline.
It involves
Oh,
the
just go-
drivers. That's all that matters.
All right. Well,
Okay. Then.
Okay.
I can't
And
really
I
comment
feel-
so much
Poor
on it just because I
analogy.
don't watch it. So.
Yeah, and I think Fox kind of like hinted this, but has been announced. But I think like Clint Boyer is going to be another one of the drivers, but I could be wrong.
Are we surprised by that? Honestly,
Yeah,
Boyer
it's gonna
might
be
like.
Jeff Gordon's gonna be another
It would
one.
make
Wow.
it
I
so
hope
much
Gordon's
better.
not one of them.
I hope
Gordon's
not.
not good on there. Have you seen that man run?
Gordon's not good on there. Boyer's not good on there.
Yeah, but it's gonna
Boyer's
be
not
on
much
dirt.
better,
That's the
though.
only thing.
Well,
And
yeah.
video games do a better job at projecting physics on dirt than the actual sports that do it. You know, that only do it once a year. NASCAR.
All right.
There's another little piece of news that got released today. Larson got another sponsor, Freightliner.
I thought that
Yeah, it was announced a while back,
It
but
was
they didn't have
announced
the
a
Was
while
it announced a while
back,
back?
Yeah.
I don't
I
remember.
think
know
when they
It was
first
them in
announced
Cincinnati.
it. Yeah,
Oh, I thought it was only
they just released a
Cincinnati announced
scheme.
a
I mean,
while
the
back.
scheme's meh. It's pretty bland.
God, his schemes are so boring. Change it
because
up.
they're using the
I like
same.
the
They're
Hendrick
using the
cars
same
ones still.
design,
That
but
was
with just
still nice.
different colors.
I don't
Yeah,
but
care.
it's
They all
boring
look
colors. It's
stupid.
just
They're
like
so
black and
boring.
gray. It's not interesting to look at.
It's better than Eric Jones's Freightliner scheme a couple of years ago. Remember that? Where it was like
Oh,
all
God.
white.
Yeah, that was
It was
awful.
terrible.
You didn't
It was
like that?
so
I kind of
bad.
It
It
was
gave
from
me Chris Buescher vibes. You know when he
2018.
ran that Bush's Bean throwback at Darlington? It was
Oh
all white.
yeah. That
Well,
wasn't good
I don't
either.
mind it. It's okay. I mean, it's.
I don't
pretty
mind all
plain, but
white
I
schemes.
wouldn't say I hate it.
Sometimes white schemes can be like I guess all white schemes depend on what the number's looking like. That's the biggest thing with all white schemes.
I feel like when you're coming to a plain schemes typically look pretty good, I'd say. Like they're not super eye catchy, but the problem I have with Larson and that whole 5 like, schemes, whatever, they use the same exact scheme, like pattern, every single car. It's so annoying. Just
Well,
use
when you
something
only
else.
have 2 actual sponsors and the rest are or the other 2 aren't.
Get some sponsors. Shouldn't have said the N-word.
I don't know. I still like that. I still like the Hendrick cars scheme, so I'm not really too.
I'm not
Yeah,
saying
I like the Hendrick
dislike
car
it. It's
scheme.
just boring.
I wouldn't say it's boring. I mean,
Well,
it's
remember when they teased, like, and obviously it was way early, and it was just a plain red car with the blue number and looked awful for like all the merchandising. It was
I
just
don't
like
remember that actually.
I don't remember that either.
I kind of remember it.
it was very bad. It was God. I'm so happy.
Or when they were
actually put
doing
a
like
scheme
media
on it.
day before the season, and we didn't know what Larson's scheme would look like, and he had just all it was like an all black fire suit with nothing on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then the images leaked of him with the blue and red, and we were like, all right, we know what the scheme's gonna be before they even release the scheme.
So is it time to talk about Truck Series first?
Truck
Is there
Series,
anyone- I
ooh,
didn't
boring.
watch it,
Kyle
so I don't
Busch
have to.
dominates.
That wraps up. Okay, I didn't
That's
watch
all
it.
that
We're
happened.
still gonna go over it quickly.
Dude,
I
literally
don't think
all that
anything else.
happened.
It-
All that
I
happened in
think
that race was
Chris
Kyle
is the only
Busch.
person who watched it.
Yeah, it was, dude. It was a
I watched the
poor
final 2
afternoon.
laps.
It was a very poor waste of my time. Literally, Kyle Busch dominated the race, gave John Hunter the stages because playoff
Yeah,
points.
I still haven't watched the replay. I've heard many things about that, but I haven't
No,
watched the replay.
Kyle gave John Hunter the playoff points by letting him win the stages, and then he was like, "All right, final stage, bye." That's basically what happened. It wasn't.
I mean, it's not illegal technically.
It's not.
I mean, I don't.
But it was just boring.
Oh my god, there was
boring,
no
but-
cautions for incidents.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Good.
Oh my
So he would have
God.
to go through them.
There's literally nothing to go through with that race.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's about
Yeah.
it. Are there any notable finishers? I think the top 10 is pretty basic.
The top 10
Uh,
seemed pretty basic. when I
Spencer
was
Davis
watching
got
it.
a top 20, which is
Yeah.
kind of notable. I don't know.
It's
That's
trucks. I
ain't
mean,
bad.
that like 15th through 40th can be anything sometimes.
Let me look.
Pretty much, Rafael Assad was out for
Oh
the
yeah, he
transmission.
was non-existent. That was the one thing. He was
happened?
non-existent. He just
went out
I
from a
think they just
transmission.
had a bad setup and just couldn't.
Where did he finish?
Bad.
39th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also,
Transmission problem.
Mhm.
yeah, and then Bill Lester's one-off return. He got 36th. Did he have a problem at all in the race, or was it kind of just like speed?
I didn't hear his name at all in the race.
Yeah, I mean, but that's I
Not
mean,
once.
I mean, if we're being for real, we all expected that. Like, no one
Yeah.
expected him to actually do well. It's just kind of cool to like have him there.
Yeah.
It's like a trophy. You kind of just.
Hey, Stuart Friesen,
What is
top 5 in
happening,
points
Austin?
now, though.
Stuart Friesen should have finished. No, he ended up getting back up. He got a
Yeah,
speeding
he
penalty
came
or
He got
something.
10th.
Yeah, he got 10. But
Yeah, he was running about third a lot of the race.
yeah, but it's good to see him get more used to Toyota because you could tell last year that the transition wasn't as
No, the
smooth as I think
transition
he
was
would have wished.
horrible.
So yeah, it's good that he's well happy for me and Caden that he's doing well.
No, it's good to see competition in the truck series because without it, it's just Thor Sport versus GMS versus KBM. Like that's it. So it's good to
Yeah.
see a little bit more competition in the
And
trucks.
a race that's heavily favors him coming up, I would think he should be one of the favorites, probably like him or Larson.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
definitely going to be in contention.
Larson's on it.
Yeah.
Can he
It
just
kinda
go
ruined
away?
the fun, honestly.
God, Larson has just annoyed me this season. He hasn't even done anything bad.
He
Just
hasn't
been
done
good.
anything bad. Are you just mad that he's finally in top tier equipment and it's showing why he should be in
Yeah,
it?
I'm mad that Eric Jones isn't in top tier equipment.
Yeah, when Eric Jones was in top tier equipment, he didn't even do this.
Okay, truck series points real quick. So since Kyle Busch won, kind of like nothing changed in the lock position. So Nemechek, Rhodes are still the only ones locked in still. Sheldon Creed's plus 62, Matt Crafton's plus 53, Stuart Friesen's plus 30,
Oh,
Austin Hill's plus 23. Johnny Sauter is having a better season than last year, sadly. He's
Still
plus
sucks.
11.
I mean, it might drop
sorry, I
off.
can't
It's still
stand
early.
Johnny
It's still
Sauter.
early.
Yeah, it's
Wait,
so early.
just one comment I had. I don't know. Maybe it's just me not noticing him, but I feel like Austin Hill's really been like a non-factor this year.
Well, he finished second
He
Saturday.
finished second in the race.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, like
Well,
he's up
last year
front
he
leading
wasn't-
a lot.
I mean, he
when
won
he's in
the-
ovals, but
He
won
won
a
the
few
regular
races.
season champ last year, but he
But
disappeared
he
in the
didn't even
playoffs.
feel good last year. Like, I mean, I knew he was like consistently good through the regular season, but he didn't actually feel like the best, you know?
No.
Like,
No,
I
he
feel like
didn't.
there were drivers way better than him, but
I mean, it showed in the
GMS.
playoffs then when he didn't make
Yeah,
the final four.
last year
Yeah.
I felt like Creed was the guy, and he ended up getting it done. So.
Yeah,
well,
I
Creed
mean,
didn't really come on until the summer, though.
yeah, but then when he did,
Yeah, he
was-
just
yeah.
never
everyone
stopped.
kind of just was like, "All right, shit." So
Yeah. Speaking of GMS, 8th is Zane Smith. He is plus 7 above the cut line. Ninth is Grant Enfinger. He's +5. And then 10th is Carson Hocevar, who is hanging on. He's +1 above the cut line over Chandler Smith, who is 1 point behind the cut line. And then Todd Gilliland is 4 points behind the cut line. Brett Moffitt is 13th, 5 points below the cut line. And I guess like the other notable below that is Rafael Assad. He's -31 below the cut line, 18th.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yikes.
he's had some bad luck this year.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can pull it
Yeah.
back.
This was like the first weekend he really didn't show any speed though. Like the
Yeah.
rest of the
Yeah,
time,
like
he's
every
had speed.
weekend he's had extreme speed. He's had like top 10, top 5 even speed. He
Yeah,
kind of just
this-
always something just doesn't go his way. Like Daytona Road Course, he was fast. I remember that.
Yeah. Well, no, this week when I was watching it, and it might have been because of transmission problems. Or that might have been before I even started watching the race because I turned it on about halfway through stage 2. He just already a couple laps down and was just slow. He almost was a moving chicane. I mean, not as bad as Norm Benning was, because oh my god, I thought
Norm
dude,
Benning,
he about got ran over at one
he didn't
point.
make minimum speed, right? I thought they.
No,
yeah,
yeah,
that's because he
got
was too
parked.
slow.
NASCAR parked him.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
I saw a tweet saying that. I was like, I mean, Benning's never like up top, but he's not usually that bad.
no, he's not normally that bad.
He
That
never
wasn't-
gets parked for being too slow, but like he's never that good.
Yeah, but he's not usually like a
Speed-wise.
hazard.
No, he's experienced enough to like.
Sorry,
never-
I just saw the end of the Michigan game.
I'll see
I mean,
what the
nothing else really happened in truck race. I don't know if there's anything else to really touch on there.
Hey, the
Yeah, I
Jays-
mean,
the Jays beat the Tigers. Let's go.
Yeah, I forgot about that
baseball.
part of the truck race.
Caden, you should get into baseball too.
No,
I
I
got you
can't
in the
watch
Leafs,
baseball.
just
Baseball's so
why?
boring. No,
Baseball's
you didn't
so
get me into
good.
league. I watched hockey before. I just didn't watch it religiously.
Yeah,
Baseball's
so,
boring. I can't watch baseball. Oh, I went to one baseball game when I was like 7. It was the last baseball game I ever went to.
Baseball's a
Baseball's
intellectual
fun
sport.
live. I enjoy it
Yeah.
live.
Well, I like.
I
it on
enjoy
TV, but
playing
it's
it. I
It's
good.
can't.
relaxing to watch live.
That's
Well,
that's
I
one of the
can't watch
things.
it on
Because for me,
TV.
it's good. Like it's relaxing and exciting. That's why I feel like it's good because you can just like sit there and chill. But then there's also fun
NASCAR isn't
moments.
relaxing. NASCAR
I
is
I
annoying.
had before I moved to Freehold, I had a minor league team that was like based in town I lived in. I used to go to like the game like a couple times a year. So the Xfinity race was a little bit better. I think it was the best race of the weekend.
Yeah, I
can
think
we
so.
agree on that?
Yeah, I
Uh,
think it had okay racing, and I think the other racing for the other 2 races were just bad in general.
Well, I don't want to skip ahead, but the post race was the best part of this weekend.
Yeah.
let's be real,
I
it
mean,
was.
yeah, that's true.
Obviously.
That's true. Yeah. So we're gonna start in the beginning. Martin Truex Jr. his first Xfinity start since 2010. He starts 18th, and
Caden, who won?
he
Caden, who
takes
won?
the lead.
Caden's dancing until we get later on in the race.
He didn't speed on
If
very
you
hard.
want,
Yeah, but
Actually,
I'll
he
let
did.
you.
He did by a
I'll
quarter
let
mile an
you-
hour.
I'll let you
They
review.
he
tampered
went
with,
like 5 miles an
speedometer.
hour and over. I was like, holy! How do you not know you're going that? Well, they use like digital. Don't they use a different dash in Xfinity than they? Which one
Yeah.
uses digital?
Because it's
Is that
because
Cup?
the one in Xfinity is more analog. It's
Yeah.
analog.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
Analog.
Analog.
Well, there's that. Nothing really happened. Truex swept this first 2 stages. Then there's that big
Yeah.
wreck, which I don't even know what happened. I just know Brandon Jones got turned and could not say
Yeah,
that because he was sideways.
So Brett Moffitt was trying to like he pretty much like cleared himself. Like he was trying to pull behind Jones and he wasn't clear of him and he just tagged Jones quarter panel and Jones went spinning. Taking up Brett Moffitt, and Brett Moffitt before that was a top 5 car. He was having a really good run for that team. He was top 5.
He's an underrated Xfinity racer, honestly. Like for our motorsports, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're not a top tier team whatsoever, but it's just that's how much talent I think Brett Moffitt has. I think he deserves a cup ride, but I don't think he'll ever get one.
I think
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I think he should do it. I think he should probably get a like decently top tier Xfinity ride. I feel like he'd be much better off being like a kind of Allgaier type guy where he just kind of stays in Xfinity, but he does well consistently.
The biggest problem with Caden, your thought of him going to Cup. Look at the car every week. There's nothing on it.
No sponsors.
There's nothing on it. You need sponsors to be in Cup.
I think he got sponsorship this weekend, but
did he get sponsors this weekend? Oh,
I don't
well, he
know.
hasn't in the rest of the
It's
races.
not. Yeah, it's not.
He's
Unless
had none in the rest of the races.
Unless they're Kyle Larson, they don't need sponsors to be in the Cup Series.
Well, yeah, maybe you should
That's
just be as good as
different, 'cause
Larson.
You have a rich
Shit.
owner that basically runs like other businesses.
Yeah. Well, it's like when
I like Moffitt, honestly. He's like probably my top 5 Truck Series drivers, and like I'd say top 5 Xfinity for me.
I lost a little bit of respect for him because I was saying this in a chat in another chat earlier this week. After the whole GMS comments that he made, because you look at the rest of them, or you look at the team now, they all seem to get along like all the drivers do. And he made those comments. It's almost like he was just the one that didn't fit in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care for that. It's just team drama. It really doesn't affect any racing on the track from what I've seen. I didn't even see them have any run-ins prior to that. But I mean, I like Moffitt. Yeah, I'd say he's definitely top 5 for trucks.
Oh, talent-wise, yeah, for sure.
No, favorite.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I don't go off talent. What are you talking about? Look who's my favorite Xfinity driver.
That's true.
Brandon Jones is like he's a
Jones.
top 5 Xfinity driver right now.
I'd have
Talent-wise,
to think about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Cindric,
Allgaier,
Gregson,
Cindric, Harrison.
Allgaier, Harrison, Jones.
Yeah. Haley's not in front of him. Don't say that.
No, I'm not gonna say
Herbst isn't in
Haley.
front of
Jeb
him.
Burton isn't. Allmendinger.
No.
Allmendinger maybe.
Allmendinger
I'd put
might be, 'cause
Allmendinger above
Allmendinger-
him.
I think his
Allmendinger is good
experience
on
is mainly
ovals
just
now.
carrying him.
Well, you look
honestly.
at
Let me look who else.
Hemrick
Allmendinger's
versus
old.
Jones, and sure, Jones got taken out in 2 races, but Hemrick's been like the JGR guy.
Hemrick, I like Hemrick too.
Oh, Herbst
Probably
is
goes
better than
Jones. Whoa.
Oh,
It goes
I mean,
no.
if Herbst can get not caught up in a wreck for once this season and actually complete a full race,
He came
No, I
sixth.
give him
He got
props. He was
sixth this
actually
weekend.
running top
yeah, he
5.
did get 6th this
He
weekend.
was running
yeah.
top 5 most of the day in Atlanta.
Yeah,
I
and
give him
he looked like
props.
shit for half the race too. And all of a sudden, they did one thing. I don't know what adjustment they made on that car, or if he figured out something.
Driver
But-
change.
Secretly, yeah. That's why they didn't put a camera on the 98 the rest of the race. No.
That's pretty much. And then, in the Brandon Jones crash, Gregson, Cindric, and Allmendinger all had like minor damage, but they kept going. For the rest of the race, they all pretty much rebounded except Cindric. But Cindric's already falling back before that. Once he lost the lead from
Cindric
Truex, he
sucked.
fell back. Yeah, he
He's
fell back
bad.
outside
He's
the top
not a
10.
good driver. Doesn't deserve the 22. He needs to go back down to trucks. Doesn't even deserve trucks. He goes back down to ARCA. He's not good.
He's
Yeah,
not
who?
even Arco, bro.
Who?
He needs to just
Don't even-
retire from racing.
but-
Austin Cindric.
Oh,
Just like his dad.
Yeah.
What? Damn,
Daddy's
I can't
money.
say that word or else I'd get canceled.
Aw.
I wasn't gonna say that one. No, it was the other one that people
I
canceled.
was
people
gonna
for.
wait. Are you gonna mention Gregson's dad? Is that where you're going?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna use something that was technically a
What?
mental slur.
Are we gonna talk about-
the R word? The
Oh,
R
yeah.
slur?
Yeah.
Don't
Are we
use the
gonna talk
R
about-
slur.
are we
Yeah,
gonna,
I know.
Are we going to talk about Gregson's fail of a right hand on him?
Oh, dude, he whiffed that thing so
Okay,
hard.
okay.
Dog,
We're not gonna-
he was literally standing still and he just went like that.
Hemrick's
I
just
don't
like-
know.
Oh, he full on like
Yeah, he
And he
winded it up.
missed.
Hemrick's
Hold
just
on,
like,
he went for it, and Hemrick didn't even like run away from him. Hemrick
Dude,
just
dude,
got
Hemrick
Hemrick
just
stood there.
sidestepped it and
Hemrick
just
just, like-
clocked him. Like,
I enjoy calling him badass. He tried to initiate a fight and lost. And just
He didn't even initiate the
He
fight,
didn't
bro.
initiate it. Hemrick
Hemrick
initiated it.
it.
Hemrick's crew
All in
member
favor
decided
of
that
Hemrick
Hemrick
if
over
he
Grayson
landed-
and
If he landed that punch, bro, that would have been
Yeah, but
I
the
don't
thing is,
think
he
so.
didn't. I'm gonna use
Yeah, he
your
I don't think
analogy.
he would.
That
I
would
don't
have
think
been
it
that
would
would
have.
have been on Sports Center, bro.
That's gonna
No,
be
it
when you
wouldn't.
come for me.
I don't
at the
think it would have
blind
done
truck.
anything. Like, we're talking about NASCAR drivers here. They can't fight. Like if he landed, it wouldn't have done anything.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. I think the only NASCAR driver I wouldn't want to fight is Dibby. Man's is built.
He's jacked. He's like a
Or,
teddy bear though.
I wouldn't want to fight
Jeffrey
Tony
Earnhardt.
Stewart.
I wouldn't want to.
Oh yeah, no, good.
I don't
I'm
want.
good.
I wouldn't want
I
to
don't
make
wanna
him
fight
mad,
Jeffrey
bro.
Earnhardt.
He knows a couple moves.
I'd get clocked, bro.
I don't know. I'm kind
Um,
of Team Hemrick for that. Noah Gregson.
Hell
I don't
yeah.
care what you say. He straight up. He did that on purpose. He backed into Hemrick on purpose. I think.
Dude,
I
he
think-
deadass was flipping him off as he was backing him up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He can't do that
It's pretty
not
hard to
purpose.
defend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Troy, let's hear why. Troy, let's hear why Noah Gregson.
I
is in
didn't.
the right
I'm not
this time.
defending that, bro. I'm not defending that. I
Wait,
said
what
it
were you
was a
Defending
stupid
it,
move.
okay. Now that we're on camera.
I'm not, bro. I said it was a stupid move, and Hemrick deserved to not Hemrick. Gregson deserved Hemrick to like walk up and fight or something like that.
Block him.
Yeah,
Clock him.
clock him. He did.
Can we go back to the race because we kind of
Is Gregson
like
still like
18th?
18th in points?
No, he
He's
finished
13th
better.
now.
Yeah, he
Oh,
finished better
okay.
this
Well,
weekend.
Oh, he's
Elite.
still not in the playoffs though.
He's still not in the
Oh.
playoffs.
So pretty much Truex led most of the race until he got a speeding penalty at the end of stage 2 or like one of the cautions. Early in stage 3.
Caden, where's that
Um,
dancing? Where's that dancing? I think it's over.
Ah, shucks.
Yeah, Ken, what are you listening to?
Is he racing the? I thought he was racing. Is he racing the July race too?
No, this was a one-off race.
Yeah, this was the only one.
Homosexual thing. Okay.
Well, that's getting cut.
Yeah, that's gotta
yeah,
get cut off.
So Truex went through the pack, and with him was Noah Gregson, who somehow just like
Always got to
adjusted
bring
on his
Noah
car.
Gregson into it. Holy.
Bro, he was in
Gregson
this,
was-
and to add to it, Allmendinger was kind of like behind him too, and they all made the run to the top 10 after being outside the top 10. And by the end of the race, it was a fight between Allgaier and Truex, and Allgaier kind of saved the stuff a little bit. Even though Truex was faster, he killed his tires and he killed what he had. And by like 3 to go, he was kind of like losing time from all that he gained. And that pretty much sealed the deal for Allgaier. And you got a pretty good win. I really don't have a problem with the win. I don't mind it.
So about the whole thing that Allgaier would go winless this season, yeah, that didn't happen. That actually took 1 week to end that streak. That's so annoying. It couldn't have waited till like later in the season. But no, it had to be the week after I said that. Oh, I mean, that's good for Allgaier, I guess. I don't know. A little bit butthurt that Truex didn't win, but like, I mean, I don't really care. It's kind of just fun to see him go race an Xfinity race.
Yeah, you could see in like the posters interview, he wasn't like that heartbroken.
Yeah, he didn't
This thing
care.
didn't- yeah. If it was Cup, it would have meant a lot different stuff.
Well, yeah.
You would have seen a totally different attitude in that post race interview.
I would've been
Speaking
mad
of
too.
post race, I don't know if we have anything else to add since we already had a
No,
conversation.
We already talked
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, we
We
did.
already
literally
talked about it.
Yo. Okay.
Raise
I'm
your
actually
hand if you're
surprised
Team
you brought it
Hammer.
up again, considering who lost.
There we go.
Yeah.
All four of
So I
us in
got peer
agreement.
pressured and
So I
Yeah.
off
Peer
camera when
pressure.
the race is end.
Chris
Alright,
like, oh wait, we're on camera. I gotta agree with you guys this time.
I don't want to get clowned this time.
Yeah.
So now we can move to the second best race of the weekend.
No, we don't want to talk about any like notification.
Nothing
I mean, the
happened
points.
in
The
college.
Yeah,
points
what are the
didn't
points
change.
at? Oh,
No, Hemrick gained 1 point on Cindric. That was
No,
literally.
you literally finished like 20 spots higher.
He
What?
finished like 13th, and Hemrick finished like 8th or something like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
wait.
Caden forgets about
Quick notable finishers because he did bring that up. Riley
Brandon
Hurst, Michael
Jones?
on that. Riley Hurst, Michael on that. They're actually like top 10, consistently without the bad luck. Which is surprising, especially for Annette, because I thought like he keeps getting worse. But
Don't you have a
he
net winning
really
2 races this year or something? That's where you
What?
picked the net. That's where you picked the net to win a couple this year.
I picked him to win Michigan and I changed it.
Oh.
I changed
Dude.
it once like the Cup Series drivers like schedules were announced and I kind of like switched things
Oh,
up
yeah,
a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit.
Not gonna lie, I'm still pissed that they kept the Xfinity race, but not the truck race at Michigan. That was so
It's
stupid.
BS.
Dude,
Are
it
you
was
going?
so stupid.
Are you
What?
going this year?
I might. I'm not sure. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do still this year with races, because having 3 months off from work is probably gonna screw me out of getting many days off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Santino Ferrucci. He got in 15th. I think that's another top 15 for him. I think he's on a good streak with that stuff, honestly.
Yeah, as long as he
Yeah,
doesn't
showing-
hit anyone
showing
else,
that.
he's pretty okay in a race.
Yeah, that's 3 top 15s in a row. With besides the 30th at Homestead, he has a 13th at Las Vegas and then 2 straight 15ths at Phoenix and Atlanta.
Was he good in IndyCar? I don't really watch.
He was
IndyCar.
decent.
Imagine Larson, but in an Indy car. Always ran 110%, and you can tell
Okay.
when he overdrove the car. That was basically him.
But he didn't crash a lot, but like he was never really a factor for a win
No,
that
no.
much.
Yeah. All right. He never
And when he
came
did
to
crash,
Toronto.
it's because he made a
Which is-
dumbass move.
Wait,
He
when?
never-
Wait.
Ferrucci in
in
IndyCar.
IndyCar.
Oh,
He never
Yeah.
came to Toronto, so I didn't see him, unfortunately.
Yeah. If he wrecked, it's because he made a stupid move. That was basically it.
Yeah.
Which,
talking about notable finishers, I assume.
Yeah,
Brandon
we
Jones
already
finished
did that.
We're
37th.
basically done. Yeah.
Yeah, that was because of a wreck. I don't care.
Well, he was still
Uh,
running.
What is this?
Josh Berry. Oh, did we talk about Josh Berry's hard?
Oh
wreck?
yeah, thanks Splitter.
Oh my god. All right. Who is
What?
very no team splitters or no front splitters because they shouldn't be a thing? Caden's like, all right, peer pressure.
Took a minute
Look
for
of
him
the
to realize
splitter.
we were
I like
talking
the look
about
of
that.
the splitter. I just don't like what the splitter does.
Yeah, I hate all
so
the people on
obvious.
Twitter that are like, oh, just make the grass AstroTurf. It's like,
No.
do you realize how expensive that is to do that for
They
tracks?
pick
And
up
how
so many
Yeah,
of
they
those
literally-
black,
Martinsville has like the
black
least amount of
spots.
grass at any track, and they're removing all the grass there because it's too expensive. Like they're gonna.
they're removing
Make-
the grass because of the splitters that dig into the grass and create
No,
dirt
they're
on the
removing it because
surface
it costs too much for landscaping and things.
because of last year.
Yeah.
Someone
Huge
went into the
big
grass
expensive,
at
holy.
Martinsville and it flung dirt all over the track, and they had to actually make a red flag because of it.
Oh
Berry
yeah. I
flew
forgot about-
though. You got airborne.
Holy, he went like. He at least went like this.
Oh,
like
dude,
I'd
he
say
did
like this high at least. Man,
He did
went
a
like
hot rod wheelie at a drag strip. And like that's what he did. That's how high
it was
he got.
honestly a little scary. I mean, it's kind of. I'd
No,
say
I wouldn't say it's scary. There's no.
it wasn't
there's
scary,
no
but it's
risk
a
of him
hard hit.
flipping. No risk of him
No,
ending up on his.
I'm not
roof.
saying like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. I'm saying like that was it was a scary hit. Like, did you see how high he went? I mean,
It
it was
looks
kind of
fun,
all
though.
Josh.
I bet it was
Dude.
fun.
His car dead ass went like, like
I mean, it was all his fault though. He could have just drove it back on a pit road, but he decided to go through the grass.
he
It's
thought he
one
was gonna be able to
stupid
get back
decision.
on the
He
track,
wanted
and
to
then it
celebrate
just
March Madness and do a dunk.
yeah. He tried to show off his hops, and the 3,400-pound car said no.
Did we go over points or no?
Yeah,
Yeah, kinda.
there's nothing to talk about in
It's not
points.
really-
Yeah, I don't think there. Yeah. Okay. So Cup Series it is.
Cup Series.
Whoa, great
Ooh.
race. Actually, I didn't even watch the first half.
There's so much to talk about. Larson dominated the first like 300 laps.
It was a.
Oh
I'm
no,
gonna get
Denny
this out of the way.
led a
It
little
was-
bit at the beginning, didn't he?
He led
And
20
then
laps
Larson?
up until like the comp caution, was it? Or
Yeah.
Larson took the lead just before the comp caution.
I think
Um,
he did after the comp because
Yeah, I think he did after too.
without lap cars you couldn't pass really.
Yeah,
Larson,
the comp
did we
race
mention
wasn't
Kurt
good.
Busch?
Oh,
oh yeah, Denny Hamlin just like
don't even. Don't. It wasn't
Troy-
even
Troy
Hamlin's
got to
fault. They all
hop
just
off
got
the
stacked.
bandwagon.
What do you
everyone
mean,
else
what do you
checked
mean?
up. Hamlin didn't.
Well, of course,
Yeah.
Hamlin's not going to check up. Do you expect anything more than him? He was running that middle lane. Kurt came down because he was, I guess, checking up. I don't know, or he was coming out of block Hamlin.
He wasn't.
He was-
He was. I don't
it
think
was-
he was blocking Hamlin. He was trying to not
I'd say
run
it was a
over
racing
whoever's in front of
incident.
him.
It was a racing incident. I don't think you can entirely put that on Hamlin. If you're gonna put that on Hamlin, put it on Busch, because Busch is the one who stacked up the field.
No, but that's just the outside line of Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Can't really.
Oh, well, what about the
do anything.
controversy of everybody was getting mad at Joey Logano? Now let's just skip to the end. There's nothing
Yeah.
happened.
let's skip to the
Larson-
end.
Larson
Yeah.
used up his tires, and then
Yeah,
people want to put it on Logano, but I think it was just a little bit of both. It was more
it was
Larson
dirty air
using up his tires.
factoring. Larson had bad tires, and then Blaney was also so much faster. Even before Larson even got to Logano, Blaney was catching him quick. He was like
Yeah.
rolling him
Blaney
down.
Blaney
the
was
pit
able to
stop,
get
it
through
was-
lap traffic. Larson
Yeah.
wasn't at the end.
Before the pit stop cycled out, it was a 1 second lead, but Larson would open it up back to a 3 second lead, and then you'd
Yeah.
reel him in again. But I'm saying if you're gonna hate on Logano for maybe a little bit of blocking Larson, then why aren't you hating Larson for deliberately not putting Chase a lap down?
That's
what happened there?
I watched
Chase-
David Land's video post race, and he pointed out a good factor there. Do you know who the lucky dog was at the end of stage 2?
Joey Logano. Was it?
Yep.
Yeah, I knew it.
So bringing Joey back onto the lead lap instead of Chase by, just lapping Chase, and therefore Chase being the first car 1 lap down, getting the lucky dog back. Instead of that happening, you have Logano getting the lucky dog, which therefore he's going to try to keep his lap at the end of the race because, why not? He doesn't want to finish the race a lap down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. I would have done the same. I mean, he ended up finishing a lap down anyways, but
Yeah, but that's because
obviously after Blaney would pass him, he'd move over to the side. That's a no-brainer. I don't think Logano did anything wrong for the first time ever, but honestly,
Logano's fault.
it was honestly Larson's fault. I don't know why he drove his heart out in the first bit of the
That's
last
what Larson
run.
does, bro. He drives 120% whole entire way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's cool
but
until
but-
stupid about it.
Adding on to Joey Logano, even if he did it on purpose, I mean, I bet part of blocking was on purpose a little bit. It's NASCAR's a team sport, and don't get mad when it's a team sport. Teams should try and do something to benefit the team in some way. Even if you're not winning, if your teammate has a chance, do something to benefit the team. And once again, it's the leader's job to get past the lap cars. It's not the lap car's job, especially when he's not even a lap down yet, to move out of the way, no matter how close to the finish of the race it is.
Well, and that's I was watching, and I know Troy, you were watching some of it too. The Sebring race. Notice the DPIs; they all have to make these massive moves to get by everyone else that they're lapping because they're the ones that need to get by the lap cars. They don't have to move out of the way for them. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Larson couldn't
I think
do that.
I would have been a little bit more mad if Logano was 3 laps down.
Yeah,
and he was
that
blocking
would be a way different
Larson
story.
like that, but he wasn't, and he was still fighting to stay on the lead lap. Obviously, Larson was probably way faster, but it's Larson's fault for not finding a way to get around him.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing comes down to if fans are going to be mad at Joey, they should just be mad at Larson's team because they're the ones that told him to back off and not lap Chase.
I don't think it's real. I think that's if Logano wasn't there, I think Blaney would have caught him nonetheless, but I think he would have caught him maybe with 2 to go.
It would have been 1-2 to go. It would have been
it would have
way
been close.
crazier finish than what we got.
Yeah. But I mean, it was still a good finish, honestly. I still had fun. It kept me on the end of my seat. But Ryan Blaney scores his first win of the season. That's not at a super speedway or with a last lap pass at a road course. So
I'm so happy that he finally won. He has a legitimate win so that people can stop calling him a lucky winner.
I mean, Pocono.
Well, I know, but
Pocono.
everyone forgets about Pocono.
Yeah.
That's why they only say he wins on pure luck. So
I mean, he did 3. How many wins did he have? He has 5
he's
now,
one
right?
every year. So yeah, 5.
Yeah, so 3 out of the 5 wins are pretty, I'd say, luck based. But I mean, at least this kind of shows that he's got to win early in the season. That's not at
About
a super
time.
speedway. I think this is just going to give that team more confidence, which getting that team with confidence is probably the last thing you want to do, because we
Dude,
see how they're always in the spring. They are so quick at every mile and a half, and giving them confidence is, I think, he could easily win 2 to 3 more races this season.
well, the biggest thing we saw um last year before everything shut down.
Yeah.
Did I just get
Look
did
out!
someone just get a FaceTime call?
Look out for James Davison.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, pass me.
Where was I going? Oh, before everything shut down, he was one of the fastest cars, like undoubtedly. And then everything shut down, and he kind of limped his way the rest of the season. And we saw what happened in the first round of the playoffs. Now that
Yeah.
we're gonna have a full season, and he has speed, and he has a win already, this could be the season we've been waiting for from him. Finally,
Yeah.
finally, we
I
say
mean,
this every year, but
I'm not gonna jump the gun, because I think it's still a real possibility he gets eliminated in the first round. He has the worst luck at Bristol. It's the same, right? First round's still the same. He sucks at Richmond, and Darlington is probably one of his worst tracks, I'd say.
Darlington, he just so many different things went wrong last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Richmond
I
is
mean,
definitely his worst track. Okay, so the one question that I had to start us off, what would you say is the biggest difference or differences going back and forth between IndyCar and NASCAR, given the interchangeable techniques that can be used in both sports?
In NASCAR, the biggest thing is not overdriving, because the cars are set up or constructed just polar opposite. Obviously, you've got an Indy car that weighs less than half of a stock car. It's rear engine, it's low center of gravity, it's got a lot of downforce, and the tire also doesn't degrade as much. So yeah, I mean, it's just polar opposite. So yeah, the big thing with NASCAR is being very precise and not overdriving, and adapting to the tire fall off.
So yeah, that's one thing I guess we don't see more on the NASCAR, is that tire fall off. That IndyCars is so immediate. Another big thing that I was thinking of was, I guess the way IndyCar is so built by Delara, and so there's many components you can't mess with from the team perspective. What's going to be one of those big factors that you won't be able to change mid race that you wish you could, that you can in NASCAR?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, the track bar and the roll center and all that kind of stuff, you can do that in NASCAR. And packers out of the front and so on. And in IndyCar, really all you can do is wing changes. That's it. Tire pressure and wing changes. So, the wing changes do do a lot on super speedways, particularly. But let's say if you really miss the setup, which I've had some of those experiences at the Indy 500, and the car's just undrivable and horribly bad, you're kind of stuck with what you got if it's that out of the window. But in NASCAR, you can start off god awful like I did at Phoenix, and got the balance as smooth as glass by being able to change the track bar and the packers and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you have a lot more adjustment in NASCAR to swing the balance.
Solid. Yeah. I'll let you guys go with questions, and then if
Can
I
I
can think
go?
of any more. Yeah.
Because I thought we were doing this tomorrow, so I only really came up with one question that I had. What was your motivation to come into NASCAR? Like, what really inspired you to get into this sport and not just kind of staying in IndyCar?
Well, I only did 8 IndyCar races over the course of like 7 years. And 6 of them were the Indy 500. So I was basically doing one race a year. And I had the opportunity to go NASCAR racing in the Cup Series, which is obviously pretty special. Now, albeit, you're in a very underfunded situation where no matter what you do, you can't possibly run in the top 30 on outright performance. I mean, you can't make up for a deficit of $25 million a year in budget that your team doesn't have compared to the top ones. But it was a way for me to get a start, and I'm a part of the big grand show. I'm on the grid with all the stars, and of course, some exciting things are happening in NASCAR with Michael Jordan, Pitbull, them adding more road courses, probably going to add a street course. Road course racing's my main, skill set. Not that I don't love racing on ovals, and I haven't won on ovals in the past, but it's an opportunity for me. And obviously, like the Daytona road course this year, we nearly secured a top 20 finishing position. We finished 23rd, which was Rick Ware's best road course result. So I'm able to, I guess, still get some results, even though it's tough, still tough. But there's just more opportunity in NASCAR because there's so many more people watching it, and the television deal is so much bigger, and the whole charter system where the teams are paid X amount of millions, and that's what enables Rick Ware to financially operate and provide opportunities at a very affordable budget relative to IndyCar. So, I saw a stat pop up on Twitter last year that I had done, I think, 8 IndyCar. It took me 7 years to do 8 IndyCar races, but it took me 3 months to do twice as many NASCAR races. So obviously you've got to go where the opportunity is as a race driver. And I've got this very unique opportunity to race NASCAR where I wouldn't be racing NASCAR in any other way. Just simply, I don't have the funding behind me to, go through Xfinity and trucks with a proper team and this and that. And I've had the discussion with my teammate Garrett Smithley, would you want to run 15th in Xfinity or run 30th in Cup? And we both agreed we'd both prefer to run 30th in Cup because we're part of the big grand show. And yeah, it's just there's some cool things happening, and the new car, of course. So I'm gaining all of this experience, and I'm only getting better. And hopefully I have the opportunity to drive the new car, and there really is some parity then, and maybe a top 10, top 15 next year on some road courses could be a possibility. And then, of course, if that happens, you then get on the TV screens, and then people start knowing who you are, and it just, a positive snowball effect. So, you got to be in it to win it. You got to get a start some way. A lot of people wouldn't do what I'm doing. They'd be a bit too concerned to, look bad. But I'm okay with swallowing my pride, running, in these underfunded situations, but using it as like a school for me to learn all the fine details I need to be a NASCAR driver. So that's why I'm giving it a go. I can race a lot more than I could with IndyCar. I enjoy it. I really love the formula that NASCAR is. So
Yeah,
that's
well,
Yeah, for sure. I heard you mention about the next gen car. What, given your history in racing in WeatherTech and Rolex, what's one big thing that you think you can take from the sport car racing days and apply it to that next gen with some of the similarities we see with it?
Well, I don't know really enough about it, and I haven't driven it, of course. But no matter what the car handles like and how it drives, if there's parity, instantly we have a chance, And that's what's so great about IndyCar. You can run with Dale Coyne Racing like I have as a third car and run in the top 10 at the Indy 500 and qualify in the top half of the field, ahead of Andretti cars and Ganassi cars and Tony Kanaan and Scott Dixon. I mean, that's what's so great about IndyCar is the parity there. Now, of course, the top teams are going to generally be at the front, but the smaller teams have a chance. And hopefully that's what's achieved in NASCAR for the most part. So we'll see.
Awesome. Yeah. Do you guys have anything else?
Yeah.
Okay.
So is there? You mentioned, of course, is the equipment difference of you have a possibility of running top 15 when you get an IndyCar, but in NASCAR you kind of aim for top 30s at best usually. But is there a different mindset that you have going into a NASCAR race rather than an IndyCar race?
Yeah, there is, because even though, theoretically you have the same right to be on the racetrack as the top 25 cars, you don't. When they come by and lap us, or, we stay out on a restart, because our team doesn't have as many tires as them to just constantly pull in and get new tires on every caution. You don't. It's kind of like an unwritten rule. You don't start at the front of the pack on older tires and think that you have a shot or a right to be there, because you're just going to be, buffaloed out of the way. And even if you're on new tires, their cars are so much quicker that you're going to go from first to 30th in like 3 laps. Maybe in one corner you'll go first to 40th if you get wrecked, So it's very different like that. So half of it is staying out of the way and just not tearing up the cars. The bigger teams and those drivers, they're paid to race very, very hard and have the budget, and the teams have a lot of inventory of chassis and parts and everything, engines, and our teams don't. So as much as we're still racing against the cars in our group, you have a bigger picture of, maximizing the revenue for the team owner in scoring, owner's points and the prize money that comes with it, and minimizing the expenditure in any damage to the car. And that's a big part in getting more rides within our small team situation. That's why Garrett Smithley gets rides, because he, does a good job. And essentially last year was a test for me. Can I be competitive and can I not tear up cars? Inevitably there was going to be a couple of tough lessons I had to learn when I'd never driven a stock car before. I hadn't been to any of the tracks and there was no practice and qualifying, and I just had to wing it. So, there was a couple of times I got, into a few minor incidents, but, didn't write off any cars and so on. So the small team situation is about showing you've got speed to get, some top 30s if there's a bit of attrition, but not tearing the car up as well. And that's just opposite in the car up the front, as you see. They're racing so hard up there because it's just all about winning and getting all their sponsors and on TV.
Yeah. All right. So I got one more question, then I'll hand it off to one of you. So you've raced an Indy 500 a couple of times. What is like your favorite moment that you've had while racing Indy 500 yourself?
For sure, leading the race in 2017. I got called up to substitute for Sebastian Bourdais in the Geico sponsored car. So it was my time to shine. It was my big opportunity. And really, as a result of that race, it's why I'm still racing today, because I got backed and supported after, putting in a good showing there. But basically, Bourdais had one of the fastest cars. He was going to be on pole, and he had the terrible accident that you may recall, and, broke his pelvis, and they had to substitute another driver in there. And I had driven for Dale Coyne Racing before. I got the call up, started last, and got to the lead. And, it's not like I did anything different in that race than any other 500 I drove in. The car was just fast. And that's the big thing with racing, is there's so many guys that are capable, but such few amount of drivers get the opportunity to be in the equipment where they can actually physically feature up front. And so that was my chance. And so I led the Indy 500 and ended up getting in an incident in running in the top 5 on a restart when we were all racing really hard to try win it. It was kind of like going all in, do you finish 5th, or do you just send it and try and win the Indy 500, which is life-changing. Finishing 5th wouldn't be, but winning it would be. So, yeah, for sure, leading the Indy 500 after starting last, it was pretty special. That had an onboard camera on the car, and Alonso was in the race. It was for sure the best day of my life.
That's really special. That's really awesome.
I couldn't even if I was in your shoes, I don't think I could even imagine leading the Indy 500. That's just one of those things that as a racing fan, you're just like, hang on, this is actually happening. Hold on.
The pressure, I can't imagine the pressure of leading it either.
So, I mean, it went yellow, and so then it set in, because you can actually think about it. You're not racing, and I'm like the first car behind the pace car, and you're going super slow, and then you start noticing how big the crowd is. And I didn't get, my mind didn't go off the job, but I remember just saying to myself, man, I've got to try and close this. This is unbelievable. I'm actually leading the Indy 500, and I've got a legit chance to do it. And I just kind of, through no fault of my own, it didn't work out. I got chopped on a restart by Castro Neves, and then I got freight trained, and I had to race hard to come back. And in doing so, you then put yourself in a position where you can kind of, get involved in a wreck. And it's risk versus reward. And the reward was worth the risk, of course.
For sure.
That's awesome.
Nick, I know you have a couple of questions.
Yeah, my first one was just talking about, obviously you've done sports cars, you've done open wheel, and now coming into stock cars. I was just wondering what the biggest adjustment was.
I mean, obviously you're racing on ovals primarily, and I guess the difference in lines is the biggest thing that's different, because a sports car, they're heavier than an Indy car. Their front engine, or at least the ones I race, the Aston Martin and the Nissan GTR, GT3 cars, they're hot inside, and that's all similar to NASCAR. But the tire fall off, like I said, is so substantial in NASCAR, and how you go so high up the track to go faster, to roll more speed and take advantage of the banking and so on. That was the thing you just got to adjust to a little bit, but I've really enjoyed it, and I didn't feel that it took too long to pick it up. You know, you just, let's say you're running at Richmond, a little short oval, and traction becomes an issue, and you know, you're on new tires and you're running the bottom, and then after a few, 10 plus laps, 15, 20 laps, you start having traction issues. And then I saw a car in front of me running one lane higher, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense to me why he'd be running one lane higher when he's got the same tire life that I do. I'm starting to lose grip. Going higher now, I can roll a bit more speed and get the wheel straighter and improve the traction. So things like that. And yeah, I really enjoyed it at Atlanta on the weekend as well. Just running the different lines and so on. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. My other question is, obviously it hasn't been too long since you made your NASCAR debut, but I was wondering what you feel like you've improved on the most since you've joined.
Yeah, I mean, it's really everything. It's the restarts, the confidence to send it on cold tires out of the pits or on the start, coming onto pit road and not speeding, and you don't have the pit lane speed limiter coming into your box. Just all the procedures. It's everything. Just little small improvements all the time. Since there's no practice, you're kind of stuck with what you've got at the beginning of a race. So, getting the car to handle how you want off the bat is a bit random, because no one really knows what their car's going to do. But yeah, honestly, it's everything. Just everything starts becoming second nature to you, and you're not so unsure. And I remember the first time I did my first race at Pocono, you start getting passed by, when you get lapped and all these, you're like, wow, I'm actually on track with Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick and Jimmy Johnson and blah, blah, blah. And now it's just like, yeah, okay, I know I've been on track with these guys many times before, and I have confidence to not mess up and be in the right place. And those guys, there's a lot of signals outside of their window nets. I'm not sure if you see it on TV, but when they come by us, they stick their hands out the window and just kind of like, give you the peace sign or something. Just like, oh, thanks for getting out of the way, or not screwing me, or knowing I was there. And yeah, I mean, there was a lot of that actually at Atlanta. I got some, like, I guess, thank yous, you call it, from like Kyle Busch and Truex. And in the past, I've gotten them from Kurt Busch, Keselowski. And yeah, it's cool when you know that they appreciate, that you've got you're respecting their race, and you're doing a good job at what your job is, which is to run out of their way and run your own race.
Solid. I know you told Troy that you may not have had a lot of time. So, and Nick and Caden usually ask this, but given how long you've already been here, what's one story that you may have from the track or a race weekend that really stands out?
Oh, well, look, since the whole COVID situation has completely changed a normal race weekend where you would chat with other drivers and so on and so forth, it's eliminated all of that. So I don't have anything in particular from my Cup experience. But when I drove in Xfinity with Joe Gibbs on the road courses, I was teammates with Christopher Bell. And to be honest, I had no idea who Christopher Bell was at that time, like that he raced on dirt or any of that. And he had no idea who I was. But we were teammates. And I got in the Joe Gibbs car and basically dominated. Top practice, started on the front row, drove off into the distance and won the first stage. And Christopher Bell was, I guess, learning how to road course drive at that point. And he was leaning on me for some help. And I was happy to help him. And he and I have been friends ever since. But I'll never forget that, from where I'm from, we say oversteer or understeer. And I was telling him, the car can be a bit better. It's got a bit of understeer. And he's like, what's understeer? And I'm like, what? Like, surely you know what understeer is. He's like, what? Like tight? And I'm like, yeah. And to me, like, tight was like, who says tight? Who the hell says tight? And loose and all this stuff. It's like tight and loose. It's like, it's either oversteering or understeering. And so, yeah, we just came from such different backgrounds, like a dirt guy driving on a road course and that was cool. That was cool.
I feel like that makes more sense though. Oversteer and understeer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that makes more sense than
It's a more like technical term, I guess. They use at a NASCAR.
The only time like Troy and I can even explain using that is when we race online. That's really the only reason we know what all that or know about that. Yeah.
I want to end this off with one last question. I know you're like it's all tight on time, but you mentioned driving for Joe Gibbs, and you must have gotten like some kind of call or something like that from Joe Gibbs. What was it like? Him like giving an opportunity to race for him.
Well, so what I had to do first was get a start in the Xfinity series. So I drove the 90 car when I guess it was even more underfunded than it is now. And everyone knows, these cars are very underfunded. So long story short, I qualified 18th, where about the car is good for, but got up to 7th after the start and first restart. And I remember the TV camera went on me because I pulled this like 3-wide lunge down into turn 5 at Road America on Bubba Wallace and Justin Allgaier and a few. I just like sent it. And our car was so slow in a straight line. And I was just eating up all the brakes and tires and everything. But long story short, it put me on the radar. So that is how I got chatting with Joe Gibbs. And it was very special when the deal went through. And I went to their shop, and my crew chief was Chris Gabehart, who, of course, is Denny Hamlin's crew chief now and become quite renowned. And Chris and I got along really well. The team their attention to detail is awesome, how they look after the driver and make sure your whole fit in the car's there. Chris gave me a great car. Any changes I needed to it, he gave them to me, and I didn't drive any different. And I'm at the front, essentially dominating the race. And it just goes to show how much the equipment matters in NASCAR. It's unbelievable. I mean, at the Daytona road course, I was my fastest lap was 3.5 seconds off the fastest car, who I think was Christopher Bell. And whenever Christopher and I were teammates, I was a little bit quicker because that was my background, right? But it just goes to show like how good these top teams are. Like you don't do anything different, and you're just at the front. So it was an awesome experience to drive with Joe Gibbs, but I only had the sponsorship to do 1 or 2 races. And to get anywhere, you've got to be able to do 1 or 2 seasons, like 1, 2, 3 seasons in Xfinity and trucks like Bell, Cindric, Chase Briscoe. And if you don't have it, that's where it's difficult. So hence how I'm driving for Rick Ware, because I just have an opportunity to go racing, period, and learn.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Thanks for giving the time of your night to talk with us and answer a lot of our questions. It means a lot to us.
If you have one more, I can fit it in if you guys.
What was I gonna say? Shoot, I was just thinking of it. I'm blanking. I don't know why.
Do you like Joe Gibbs racing? Would you say it's one of your favorite cup teams?
Caden's very biased towards Gibbs. Oh,
I don't know what you're
damn
talking
it!
about.
I'm still losing it. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean,
think of it.
since I have a good relationship with Joe Gibbs racing and Bell and Kyle Busch, I do some iRacing with Kyle Busch. I definitely have. I like to see them do well, and it'd be a dream to drive for them in the Cup Series. I'm not really sure how realistic that is, but of course, never say never. But yeah, I have a lot of respect for how that team is run. There's a reason why they're a winning team, and you just look at their sponsors as well. Big brands that they have as sponsors wouldn't be associated with them if they were, they weren't professionals.
You've got some good taste, though. I like Joe Gibbs racing.
Yeah, they're good.
I remembered my one question real quick. What's a short-term goal that you say you would have, and what's a long-term goal?
Short-term, I would like to think I can get a top 20 this year on a road course. Now, there'll have to be some attrition as ever for that to happen, but we nearly banked it at Daytona. I was just getting ready to pass Ryan Newman for 20th with 2.5 laps to go, and my brake pedal went to the floor, and we dropped back 2-3 positions to 23rd. But it was realistic, just kind of knowing that the car, we can get it to handle better, and there was a few things I was fighting. I don't think we had new brakes on the car at that race, and so we kind of know, okay, with this low downforce package, you got to put brand new stuff on the car. You can't get away with not having new gear. There'll be a practice session at Austin, so getting the car tuned will be, there's more chance of getting the car tuned right. And Austin's going to be a lot tougher track. So these Cup guys are going to be challenged at that track. Now, the top guys will be just fine, but some of them will be, that aren't real road course racers. They're going to be challenged, and that's going to be my time to capitalize. So I'm pretty excited, to be honest, for like Road America and Austin, and in particular of the road courses. Long term, it would be to think that I can do at least 20 races next year with the new car, and that there will indeed be some good parity, and I can kind of feature up there in the top maybe 15 genuinely. And then, of course, there could be some good dividends of that, right? Where some of the bigger teams can start looking at you because they can actually gauge how good you are or not. But as things are right now, they just don't know exactly how good you are when you're running around in equipment that's 3 seconds a lap off. It's tough. So, that's the short-term and long-term goals.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah.
I wish you luck with all that. That seems really realistic, honestly. You could be the next like Boris said, or something like Ambrose, even him.
Ambrose.
You could be the next road ringer that everyone has their eye on every single road course.
Yeah, I mean, things have changed since those days of the ringers, like Boris said, Ron Fellows, Ambrose, because there's more road courses being brought in and the simulators that the teams have are so realistic now that the drivers get unlimited opportunity to get better on the top teams. And I've driven the Toyota simulator when I drove for Joe Gibbs, and it is awesome. Like, I did the same lap time on the simulator that I did in the real car. And I mean, it's like 90 to 95% accurate. It's really, really good. So it's getting tougher to kind of just, make up the difference if you're in a smaller team. But I know it's possible though, because at a couple of these road courses, I can get by like Ryan Newman and Corey LaJoy kind of in the second half of a stint, and a couple of other guys. So yeah, let's see what Austin throws. I think that's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
I'll be on the lookout
I'm
for
a
you
big
then.
road course fan, so
Yeah.
I'll be excited for that.
Between road courses and short tracks, those are the
Yeah.
two.
And they say they're going to add a street course next year. So
Next year, really?
That
I haven't heard that yet. So that might be some leaked
Okay, wait,
information.
repeat yourself.
Insider
Is that
info.
Toronto?
yeah,
Probably-
I don't know, but who's the president of NASCAR now?
Steve Phelps?
Yeah, Steve Phelps. That's who I thought. I just didn't want to say the wrong name, but I believe he mentioned it when he announced the 2021 schedule, that it's their intent to add a street course. And I've always thought how cool it would be if it happened to be Long Beach, and you can just imagine like all the cars going through the fountain area and ripping out all the flowers in the garden bed, and you know what I mean? It'd just be chaos. It'd be awesome if that happens.
Yeah.
Not to be biased, but please be Toronto.
Yeah,
Toronto's one of
he's
those-
a
I
short
like
drive for you guys.
Toronto. That's one of my favorite street courses. I've raced there at least three times. Yeah, I raced there 3 times. No, maybe 4. But it's a good time up there, and that's a great track. We'll see.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys.
Awesome.
Well,
All right,
thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank
for
you
coming
so
on with
much.
us.
Thanks
Honestly,
for coming on.
yeah,
It's pretty late, but thank you for coming on and
You're
taking the
good.
time.
You're
I really
good.
appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. We'll chat soon.
we'll be watching out for you.
Yep. Good luck this season.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thanks.
Bye.
See ya.
Do I have-
So,
wait.
want to do fantasy real
Bell.
quick and just pick our driver?
Bell.
Hang on. Yeah. Well, yeah.
I'm first, so
Yeah, you are first. Yeah, that is true.
Easy picks.
You're going with Bell?
Yeah, I was debating between Bell and Briscoe because I don't want to overthink it. I was like, ooh, maybe if I go Briscoe, he'll do better than Bell would at a different track. But I'm going Bell. I'm not overthinking.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're not saving Bell, honestly, for one of the
I
better
don't care,
tracks.
but, yeah.
All right, so you're going with
Briscoe's
Bell.
been like 28th, though. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like
I have more faith in Bell at Dirt than I do at Briscoe. With Briscoe,
that's fair. I just feel like I don't have faith with Briscoe anywhere.
Oh shoot! Hang on, I'm trying to
So
mess with this.
I have a
Alright,
headache, bro.
should I go next? Is
Well,
there a
no,
specific
It
No,
is-
it goes in an order now.
We have a
I
order.
do not know, yo.
It is based off of last week's
Yeah.
results, so therefore
I
I
have
would
tied
be up next.
Nick in points. It's that we're going. somewhere.
Who
We're
did
going
I
places
pick last
big.
week?
yeah, that's
You had
so
Hamlin.
my fault.
Hamlin? Oh, okay.
I took Harvick, and he decided to not show up again for another race. But honestly, that outside of Kyle, that would have been my best choice. Shit. Nick took Bell, so I can't take Bell. You know what? I'll go with Kyle.
Bush.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I go next, right? Because I finished second.
You finished first.
No, Hamlin finished ahead of
Oh
Byron.
no. Yeah. Yep. You're next.
It's either Newman or Dillon. Both have dirt experience, but I think Newman's been race dirt for longer. I think that's really a no-brainer. I'm gonna go Newman.
Honestly, that was a better choice too because of other races on the schedule. Well, maybe outside of Dega, but yeah.
Dega, anyone? I don't even know who else I have. I'm gonna be completely honest.
Yeah, if you would have taken Blaney, you would have really been in good spot last week.
God, I should have taken Blaney. I said I was thinking it was either gonna be Blaney. No, I said I was gonna save Blaney for Dega, but why would I save anybody for Dega? It's Dega.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Troy, your turn.
Troy.
Am I next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Chase Briscoe for Bristol. I have Larson on my list, but he's good at every track, so I think it's smarter to bank on him for the future tracks.
I think that wraps it up
Wrapped
then.
it up.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about? No, never mind. It's too
Oh,
late.
we
I'm
didn't even
tired.
do a preview of Bristol Dirt.
Bristol. Let's talk about Bristol there. We've got like 5-10.
Yeah, we can make our picks real quick or what we expect.
Oh, yeah. Shoot.
First question: do we expect that it's going to be a mess, or is it going to be a mess, or is it going to be tame up until the final 10 laps? Then it's going to be a mess.
It's going to be a mess the whole time.
Yeah.
I think it's going to
There's
be a
gonna be a
mess
record
like
on
the
lap
first
one.
half.
It's just gonna be over and over. It's just gonna be like the iRacing race at the Bristol normal Bristol last year.
I
where
think
just
we'll
caution,
see it
caution.
be like a dumpster fire for the first 2 stages, and then the final stage will be whatever dirt guys are left. Honestly,
Final stage won't even be whatever dirt guys are left. It's just gonna be whatever guys are left in general.
no, because like those like
No,
8 or
it's
9
not.
guys, those 8 or 9 guys that have dirt experience will be there,
Yeah, probably.
and that'll be it. But
I'm just praying that Larson doesn't win. That's the only thing
I'm picking Larson.
I think we need to make sure or we need to pray it doesn't rain, because it always rains this weekend at Bristol.
It always rains when I go to a race.
Oh, Troy, why are you going to the
Dover
race?
Spring
going to the race?
2019.
Oh,
He's
I'm
going
going?
to-
I forgot about that.
There was Talladega Fall 2019.
Isn't
There
Miles
was
going?
2020
Miles is going.
2020 Daytona,
Well, Miles is
2021
going.
Daytona,
I'll tell Miles to go,
2020
like, skate,
Charlotte
Troy.
Roval,
I'm
and
gonna
soon
tell
to be
Miles Troy's
Bristol
seat.
Dirt.
Troy,
Yeah.
Troy, you're the NASCAR curse. It's not the podcast.
I literally have a
curse.
curse.
It's the you curse.
It's the curse.
There's a few weekends in a row at CTMP where we got rain, but other than that,
Yeah, but it's
been
also a
okay.
road course.
It's been okay recently. Yeah, so they can run
Yeah.
it. No, one time it was bad. One time they couldn't even fit it in because there was actually like puddles on the track. It was bad.
Damn.
That's the good thing about CTMP though, is if it's raining, you can watch at certain spots from your car. Like there's a spot where you can kind
Yeah.
of pull off.
Nice.
and stuff.
I'm.
awesome.
Who do I pick to win? Oh,
Ooh, pick to win.
Christopher Bell.
Larson.
I want Bell to win so bad. If there's gonna be a first 2-time winner this season, I want it to be Bell, just to put more championship hype on him.
I think
All right.
Briscoe's gonna win just to piss off everyone with the damn playoffs and to have another first-time winner this season.
Oh, imagine.
I want to go first time winner, but I'm going Larson. I feel like he's obviously so good on dirt. His car's been fast all year. I think Hendrick.
I don't know. I
I
know he's been good on dirt, but I mean, I'd like to argue Christopher Bell is up there, like right neck and neck with Larson.
It'll
Yeah,
be a repeat of the
Obviously,
Chili
it's
Bowl.
different on dirt, but in general, Larson's has had more speed for the most part
Yeah.
this year.
Their battle's gonna
I'm-
be a repeat of the Chili Bowl.
We're gonna have an insane finish.